Imagine this. A young black student, bright-eyed, full of ambition, stands at his high school graduation, diploma in hand. His family beams with pride, celebrating his hard work, his determination, his dreams. But as he steps into the real world, that confidence begins to fade. Job applications go unanswered. Interviews end in polite rejections. Promotions remain just out of reach. And no matter how talented, how hardworking, how qualified he is, he always seems to be running a race where the finish line keeps moving. This is not just one person's story. This is the reality for millions of black individuals worldwide. They fight to succeed in a system that was never built for them. They break barriers, only to find new ones waiting on the other side. They prove their excellence time and time again, yet are still questioned, underestimated, and overlooked. This is the battle between black excellence and systemic racism. But let us be clear, black excellence is not about proving worth to a system designed to suppress it. It is about thriving despite it. It is about rewriting the rules, reshaping the narrative, and reclaiming the spaces that have long denied black voices. From education to the workplace, from media to justice, black individuals continue to rise, despite the weight of systemic oppression trying to hold them down. From the very first day of school, the playing field is uneven. Decades ago, Ruby Bridges, just 6 years old, walked into an all-white elementary school, escorted by federal marshals as mobs of angry adults screamed at her. Imagine that. A child facing the full force of hatred simply because she wanted an education. And while those days of explicit segregation may be gone, the inequalities in education remain. Schools in predominantly black communities receive less funding, fewer resources, and outdated materials. Teachers expect less from black students, suspensions and punishments are disproportionately higher, and opportunities for mentorship and advancement are scarcer. The school-to-prison pipeline is a real and devastating cycle, where black children are pushed out of classrooms and into the criminal justice system at alarming rates. Yet, despite these barriers, black scholars continue to defy expectations. Dr. Mae Jemison, the first black woman in space, Dr. Charles Drew, a pioneer in blood transfusions, Katherine Johnson, whose calculations helped NASA reach the moon, their brilliance was undeniable. But make no mistake, it was never nurtured by the system. They succeeded in spite of it. But for every black child who overcomes these odds, how many are left behind? How many are told, explicitly or implicitly, that success is not meant for them? How many potential geniuses, leaders, and innovators are lost to a system that was never meant to serve them? A black graduate walks into a job interview, resume in hand. He has the credentials, the experience, the drive. But before he even speaks, the odds are stacked against him. Studies show that identical resumes with black-sounding names receive 50% fewer callbacks than those with white-sounding names. Even when black professionals do enter the corporate world, they find themselves paid less, promoted slower, and overlooked for leadership positions. They watch as their ideas are dismissed, only to be praised when repeated by their white colleagues. And let us talk about the pay gap. The average white family holds nearly 10 times more wealth than the average black family. Even with the same education, the same experience, the same qualifications, black professionals earn less than their white counterparts. And for black women, the gap is even wider. Yet, despite this, black excellence thrives. Robert F. Smith, the billionaire philanthropist who paid off student loan debt for an entire graduating class, Bazoma St. John, a marketing genius leading some of the world's biggest brands, Damon John, who turned a small clothing brand into a multi-million-dollar empire. These are not exceptions. These are proof. Proof that black excellence is not limited, not rare, and not conditional. But success should not come with the requirement of being twice as good, twice as qualified, twice as exceptional just to receive half the opportunity. For decades, Hollywood and mainstream media have shaped how the world views black people. And for just as long, those images have been distorted, limited, and weaponized. Black men, cast as criminals, thugs, or comedic sidekicks. Black women, over-sexualized, angry, or struggling single mothers. Rarely the hero, rarely the lead, rarely complex, fully realized human beings. Even when black actors break through, like Viola Davis, Denzel Washington, Chadwick Boseman, they speak openly about how much harder they have to fight for recognition, for roles, for respect. Viola Davis once said, "The only thing that separates women of color from anyone else is opportunity." And when black filmmakers try to take control of their own narratives, they are told their stories are a niche, not relatable, or too political. Yet, when they break through, like Ryan Coogler with Black Panther or Ava DuVernay with Selma, they prove that black stories are not just important, they are essential. It is impossible to ignore the dominance of black athletes in sports. Serena Williams, LeBron James, Usain Bolt, Muhammad Ali, they are icons, legends, undeniable proof of black excellence. But the moment they use their voices, the moment they step outside the lines of the court, the field, the ring, the backlash is swift. When Colin Kaepernick took a knee to protest police brutality, he was blacklisted from the NFL. Not because he was untalented, not because he broke any rules, but because he dared to speak. Because he dared to challenge a system that profits from black bodies but silences black voices. This is the pattern. Black excellence is celebrated, but only when it does not make people uncomfortable, only when it does not challenge the system. So, what happens next? Do we continue to accept a system that demands black people work twice as hard for half as much? Or do we demand change? The truth is, change is already happening. Black entrepreneurs are creating wealth despite financial barriers. Black activists are rewriting laws and policies. Black artists are reclaiming their stories. But the fight is far from over. And here's where you come in. Educate yourself. Challenge bias. Support black businesses. Amplify black voices. Every action, no matter how small, chips away at the system that has stood for far too long. Because black excellence is not just about success. It is about survival. It is about resistance. It is about rewriting history so that future generations will not have to fight the same battles. So, what do you think? Have you seen these struggles in your own life? Let us know in the comments. Your voice matters. Like, share, and subscribe for more stories that need to be told. For generations, black individuals have been told that hard work is the key to success. Study harder. Work longer. Be better. Do more. And maybe, just maybe, the system will finally recognize your worth. But what happens when even excellence is not enough? Ask any black professional, any black scholar, any black entrepreneur. They will tell you the same thing. Success for them is never just about skill. It is about survival. It is about carrying the weight of entire generations on their backs. It is about proving themselves over and over again in a world that refuses to acknowledge their brilliance. The truth is, black excellence is often met with resentment, sabotage, and exclusion. Even in victory, black individuals are forced to defend their achievements, as if their success is a mistake, an anomaly, an accident. When Barack Obama became the first black president of the United States, did the world celebrate a milestone? Yes. But did he also face unprecedented levels of scrutiny, racism, and obstruction? Absolutely. When Serena Williams dominated tennis like no one before her, did she earn respect? Yes. But did she also endure racist attacks, unfair penalties, and constant criticism of her body, her attitude, her existence? Without a doubt. And when black students, professionals, and creatives rise above expectations, they are often accused of benefiting from special treatment, as if their talent alone could not possibly justify their place at the table. This is the hidden cost of excellence, the price that comes with breaking barriers, the exhaustion of constantly having to prove, justify, and defend success. Imagine playing a game where the rules constantly change. A black student fights to get into a top university, only to be told they got in because of diversity quotas rather than their hard work. A black entrepreneur builds a successful business, only to struggle securing investors, partnerships, and fair treatment in the market. A black executive climbs the corporate ladder, only to find themselves alone at the top, surrounded by colleagues who doubt their abilities, waiting for them to fail. The system is not broken. It was designed this way. And the truth is, the impact of systemic racism is not just about missed opportunities. It is about stress, mental health, and generational trauma. It is about the silent battles fought behind closed doors. The exhaustion of code switching, of navigating microaggressions, of shrinking yourself just to survive. This is why the fight for racial equality is not just about fairness. It is about justice. It is about undoing centuries of oppression that continue to shape the present. It is about demanding more than representation. It is about reconstruction. One of the most powerful weapons against systemic racism? Economic power. For centuries, Black communities have been denied access to wealth-building opportunities, from slavery to segregation, from redlining to discriminatory banking practices. Even today, Black-owned businesses receive less funding, less support, and fewer opportunities than their white counterparts. The racial wealth gap is not an accident. It is by design. But despite these obstacles, Black entrepreneurs are changing the game. Tyler Perry built his own film studio, one of the largest in the world, on land that was once a Confederate Army base. Madam C.J. Walker, the first self-made female millionaire in the U.S., created generational wealth when the system told her it was impossible. Jay-Z, Rihanna, and Oprah Winfrey built billion-dollar empires, proving that Black success is not just possible, it is unstoppable. And it is not just about individual success. It is about building entire ecosystems that uplift and sustain Black communities. Buying Black, investing Black, supporting Black businesses, ***. Because economic power is not just about money. It is about freedom. The freedom to create, to build, to control the narrative. The freedom to dictate your own future, rather than waiting for permission. From the streets to the boardrooms, from the classrooms to the courtroom, the fight for justice never stops. It did not stop when Martin Luther King Jr. marched on Washington. It did not stop when Malcolm X spoke of Black empowerment. It did not stop when Angela Davis stood against oppression. And it has not stopped today. Movements like Black Lives Matter have brought global attention to racial injustice, police brutality, and systemic discrimination. They have forced uncomfortable conversations. They have demanded change. And yet, every time Black voices rise in protest, the response is the same. Silence them. Discredit them. Punish them, ***. When NFL players kneel, they are called unpatriotic. When activists march, they are labeled troublemakers. When Black voices speak out, they are told to stop making everything about race. But here is the truth. Racism is still alive. It is still thriving. It is still killing, ***. And ignoring it will not make it disappear. Change does not start with governments. It does not start with corporations. It does not start with leaders. It starts with you. Educate yourself. Read the history they do not teach in schools. Learn about the systems that continue to oppress Black people. Understand the struggles that are often ignored. Challenge bias. Speak up when you see racism in your workplace, in your schools, in your communities. Do not be silent. Do not be complicit. Support Black businesses. Invest in Black entrepreneurs. Amplify Black voices. Redirect resources to those who have been historically denied them. Demand accountability. Hold leaders, companies, and institutions responsible for their actions. Do not settle for symbolic gestures. Push for real change. Because at the end of the day, this is not just about Black excellence. This is about justice. This is about humanity. This is about breaking the chains of a system that has existed for far too long. And the question is, ***, will you be part of the problem or part of the solution? ***. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Your voice matters, ***. Like, share, and subscribe for more content that challenges the system and inspires change. For centuries, Black communities have fought for a seat at the table. But what happens when, after finally getting there, they're still treated as outsiders? The truth is, breaking barriers is only the beginning. Staying in the room, having a voice that is heard, and making real change, that is the real fight. Look at corporate America, where diversity programs are promoted, but Black professionals still struggle to reach executive positions. A company may post about racial equality on social media, but behind closed doors, hiring biases, pay gaps, and workplace discrimination remain. The entertainment industry is no different. Black artists, writers, and filmmakers are celebrated until they push back against racist narratives. then, suddenly, they are labeled difficult, ungrateful, or too political. Even in politics, black leaders who rise to power face relentless criticism, smear campaigns, and policies designed to block their progress. The system resists change, even when it is built on the very backs of those it continues to oppress. So, the question is, when will excellence be enough? It is not just about working harder. It is about dismantling the structures that were never meant to include black people in the first place. Every victory is met with new obstacles. Every step forward is met with resistance. But the fight continues, not just for the present, but for the generations to come. Black excellence is not just about individual success. It is about collective empowerment. It is about creating spaces where black people do not just survive, they thrive. Because true change does not come from waiting for permission. It comes from demanding what is rightfully ours. It comes from building our own systems, our own industries, and our own future. It comes from refusing to be silenced. And it comes from the unwavering belief that black excellence is unstoppable. Black excellence has always been a revolution. It is a refusal to accept the limits imposed by a system designed to suppress. It is the audacity to dream beyond the boundaries that history has tried to enforce. From the streets to the classrooms, from the boardrooms to the world stage, black people have redefined resilience, success, and leadership. And yet, despite centuries of achievements, the world still questions their worth. But the truth is undeniable. Black excellence is not just about individuals who defy the odds. It is about communities that rise together despite the odds. Look at the movements that have shaped history. The civil rights struggle was not just about one leader. It was about the voices of thousands. The abolition of slavery was not granted. It was fought for by those who refused to accept their chains. Today, that fight continues. In the battle for economic power, in the demand for equal opportunities, in the rejection of systemic racism that still dictates who succeeds and who is left behind. The next generation is watching. They are learning from the victories and the setbacks, and they will not wait for permission to claim their place. This is why representation matters. This is why breaking barriers is not enough. We must build new ones. Because true black excellence is not about proving anything to the world. It is about creating a world where proof is no longer required. A world where success is expected, not questioned. A world where black children do not have to work twice as hard just to be seen as equal. A world where black talent is recognized without doubt, black voices are heard without interruption, and black lives are valued without condition. The future is not coming. It is already here. And it is being built, one act of resistance, one moment of excellence, one unstoppable force at a time. Black excellence is not a trend. It is a legacy, ***. And no system, no barrier, no force can erase it.